beginning the session. Our next session is on Ananda, Bliss in Dharma Dhamma traditions. May I please request our chair, Professor Tongmyong Lee, to please come on stage. I would now like to request our speakers, Ms. Sattva Zhang, to come on stage. Venerable Professor Dr. Sumanasiri Thero, Professor Rajendra Kumar Dabee, Professor Jyotindra Dabee, and Dr. Rajiv. Professor Lee, over to you.
Yes, good morning. Namaskar to all of you. First of all, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to India Foundation and Nalanda University for inviting me, as well as my Korean colleagues. This time, our Korean professor, 6 Korean professors attended this conference. I have associated with this Dharma Dhamma conference since 2012, when the first conference was held in Bhopal and Sanchi. And the second and third also I participated and presented my paper. And unfortunately, I couldn't come to India for fourth international conference, which was held in this Nalanda University. And at last, now I'm here to attend the 5th Dharma Dhamma conference in Nalanda University last year, the holiest place of Buddhism. Before starting the third session on Ananda, I would like to think about the sequence of the topics of this conference. That is, first, Sat, second, Chit, and last, Ananda. Yesterday, somebody said that, of course, Sat is Chit, Chit is Ananda, and also Sat is Ananda. So there cannot be any kind of degrees of importance among the 3 terms. Nevertheless, always Sat is first, and Ananda is the last. So this morning, I would like to ask about this matter. Why Sat is first, and Ananda is the last? I think the starting point of question is Brahman, because the starting point of question is Brahman. So every time Brahman is described as Sat, Chit, and Ananda, it means that, of course, Sat and Chit and Ananda is same. And these 3 terms are different expressions of one and the same reality, Brahman. Nevertheless, always Sat, Chit, Ananda. it means that Sat is nearest to Brahman, and Ananda is the farthest from Brahman. So maybe Sat Chit Ananda, not Chit Ananda Sat or Ananda Chit Sat. But if we start from human beings, then it should be Ananda, Chit, and Sat. Ananda should be first, and then next is Chit, and last should be Sat. It also means that from the perspective of human beings, Ananda is nearest to our human experience. And then Chit, and the last is Sat. So if we experience Ananda of Brahman, then first, maybe I can experience and realize Ananda aspect of Brahman, and then next, Chit, and the last is Sat. This kind of understanding is in Sankhya and Yoga tradition especially. For example, in Sankhya, as you know, Ananda is not the attribute of Purusha. Purusha is just pure consciousness. Ananda is not attribute of Purusha. In yoga also, Ananda is dealt with with regard to Samparagata Samadhi, but Ananda is not ultimate bliss. Just it is Ananda of Sattva. So Samparagata Samadhi is divided into 4 levels. First is Vitarka, second Vichara, and third Sananda, and last Asmita. Among these 4 levels, only Ananda is just experience of Sananda Samadhi. So it also means that just Ananda is not ultimate, but just our human beings' experience. So I think after some time, if we have another conference on Satchit Ananda, then the sequence of topic can become first Ananda, because it is easiest to close to Brahman. And then Chit, the last should be Sat. Okay. Because for want of time, I would like to start this session. We have 5 speakers in third session of Ananda, and just 90 minutes was allowed to the speakers. So I hope that each speaker speak only within 10 to 12 minutes, and then we will have, if time is allowed, we will have some time for question and answer. Okay, thank you. So may I invite our first speaker, Mrs. Sattva Zhang. She is the General Secretary, Secretary General, World Peace Association of China. Thank you.
Distinguished leaders of government processors, ladies, gentlemen, and dear friends, good morning. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers of this event for giving me this opportunity. The subject of this conference is excellent and embodies great wisdom. May it prove an illuminated guide to our lives in the present world. In 2001, I was in a temple retreat. There, for the very first time, I found myself pondering about the truth of the universe and life. Full of doubt, I asked myself the most inextricable question: what's to be expected after the flight of life is extinguished? Where do we go after nothing remains of our body but dust? What remains of us after our consciousness is blown out? But just as sky can't keep the clouds in place, or a pendulum can't hold on to the moon's reflection, just like a mirror can't truly possess the information it reflects, so the world can't forever hold on to the traces of a man. The attachments we make throughout our lives: money, fame, power, family, love, friendships. We can't carry any of them with us to our next life. We come to this world alone and live alone, empty-handed, nothing in this common world, not even our very bodies. Well, accompanies us beyond this lifetime, and yet people pay so much attention to the mundane, motivated by greed or anger or desire. They grew too attached to this ephemeral world, while steering away from attainment in search of money. Some work excruciatingly hard and neglected their health. In search of power, some are willing to hate even the people closest and dearest to them. In chasing love, people are willing to sacrifice their equilibrium, risking headache and mountain instability. Unfortunately, they don't feel appreciate that time where even truly consuming anything like fire, blazing through a field of dry grass, leaving nothing behind. Everything in this world, including our body, can be used, but not owned. Nothing belongs to us. Only when we meditated in the placed tranquility of a forest can we see the true moving causes of the past, present, and future. And only thus can we find how to truly improve our existence as we comprehend the nature of living. Human may possibly be the most intelligent animal on this earth, and yet the truth is that all humans, whether them lived a life of plenty or of shame, whether of joy or of wretchedness, are bound by nature's law of cause and effect. Everything is conditional. All lives is temporary. Its physical meaning illusory. That is why Chinese soldiers have taught us to honor the living philosophy of the Buddha by letting his teachings of morality and fidelity penetrate into our minds. We can be inspired to live a life of virtue. Looking back, and more than 5,000 years of Indian history, one finds horror ancient traces of great impulse that once bore witness to heroic stories are now reduced to nothing but tourist attractions and signs of national pilgrimage. Through meditation, we cannot go off these troubling thoughts and let our minds be at peace and experience the placid bliss of mindfulness. Thus, we comprehend that our body is just an object, a tool to carry us through this world. Our alaya is like a guest from a far away place for a benefit time. It stays in our body just as we stay in a hotel. The way we perceive the Ganges River does not change. Throughout our lifetime, it looks the same to us, whether we are 3 or 8 years old. But our bodies clearly do change. They are quite different at 3 than they are 80. What is it that remains constant then? What is it that is permanent? What is it that keeps changing? In reincarnation, we are born into this world from different corners of universe. Unchanging soul in a changing body. The former is eternal, the latter decays and going both, aging, illness, and dies. We will put on this oath so we can each do our best for the benefit of our family, friends, neighbors, for the benefit of all sentient beings. But our bodies confuse us, leading us astray in ephemeral oceans pursuits. We waste our precious lives while never experience true happiness. Moreover, these who only push wealth, fame, and power interact hating their surroundings, feeding their own desires at the expense of the happiness of others. But nature's not understand for it. These people might be able to take advantage of others for their selfish reasons for a short while. But in the long term, they will suffer devastating humiliation. The goods of this world, health, power, and social studies should always be used for the benefit of other sentient beings, never selfishly and never for harm. I pay my highest respect to RSS India. To my knowledge, all members in this exalted organization have been pursuing incredible goals. They are devote their lives to the happiness of all Indians. This kind of altruistic commitment is increasingly rare in today's world. The truth of the universe is vast and profound, but the mind can unite multitudes like thousands streams flowing into the same ocean, or thousands of trains riding towards the same destination. The Supreme Dharma can only be contemplated, but never explicated in language, even with the ink of sea water and the pens of a mountain removal. It's impossible to completely explain the meaning of even one word of Dharma. Our alaya consciousness floats in this circle of samsara. Our mind is polluted, and so the search for the truth through meditation has become an important calling for many. Only this way can we renounce this material world, letting go of the trace of birth and death. Only this way we can become the truth owners of our lives. If we mistake the body for a true self and seek only to satisfy its desires, we will find ourselves addicted to good food and beautiful clothes, to studies and to luxury. We will be happiness. Their attachments are the cause of our weathers, confusions, pains, and obstacles to true peace, leading only to life of unhappiness. The suffering will carry past this single life onto many future incarnations.
Excuse me, please close your.
But tell me 50 minutes.
No, just 10 to 12 minutes.
Yeah, 2 minutes finish.
Otherwise, we have to skip our lunch.
Yeah, I know. A real practitioner of recites his mind in smahi. He will not get attached to anything or anywhere in this world. He loves God is to benefit others, whether gliding through here plans of dawning down here on earth. The mind of the practitioner will see to difference in this mindset. He will not feel samsara. His mind will not grow attachments and will see to distinction between here and law, sternity and motion, love and death. This is the true nirvana. It is the door of the universe. Thank you so much for your time. Best wish to this conference have a great success.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Sattva Zhang. And once again, I would like to talk to our distinguished speakers. Please don't forget time limitation. Next speaker is Venerable Professor Gallelle Sumanasiri Thero. Thank you.
Respected Chair, all the distinguished scholars who are going to make presentations at this session, Venerable Sirs, Venerable Nuns, Hindu clergy, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to pay my thanks to India Foundation for two reasons. The first reason is it is India Foundation that has been given me a chance to come to Delhi University in 1990 for doing my PhD. India Foundation provided me a scholarship to pursue my PhD degree. Therefore, I am very much thankful for India Foundation. Secondly, I pay my sincere thanks to India Foundation as well as Nalanda University for inviting me to come here as a speaker of this conference. And also, I am very glad to convince you from the beginning of Dharma Dhamma conference in Nalanda University, our distinguished young scholars participated in this conference, and I am very happy to say this time nearly 12 young academics are participating at this conference. It is something very important. And this conference is on, the main theme of the conference is Sat, Chit, Ananda and Nirvana. Sat, Chit, Ananda stand for Hinduism, whereas Nirvana stand for Buddhism. This type of conference or dialogue is not new to India. It has long historic, this type of dialogue is long historic relationship. Even at the time of Buddha himself visited other religious leaders, and other religious leaders are often visited Buddha and make debates and discussions about the subtle points in Buddhism and also other religious traditions. Sometimes our canonical literature reveals that many dialogues between Buddha and other religious leaders, sometimes Buddha used, sometimes had very serious dialogues. Those dialogues were aimed at convincing the truth, not for disgrace any other tradition, but in order to make better understanding about the reality. Therefore, this type of dialogue is very essential at the moment, especially because we are having a lot of problems in the world due to various type of religious beliefs. The main reason for having such conflict is misunderstanding or unawareness of the other religion. Therefore, it is very important to have a knowledge of one's own religion as well as religion of others. It is need of at the present to make consider the in the level of higher education to produce scholars, those who are having wide knowledge on one's own religion as well as the religion of others. And therefore, the steps taken by Nalanda University is very much appreciative. As I mentioned earlier, the main theme of this conference is Sat, Chit, Ananda, or in other words, Hinduism and Buddhism. Chronologically concerned, Hinduism is the most ancient religious tradition in India. Its origins goes as far back as to Vedic period. Hindu tradition historically can be divided into three categories. The one is the period of Bhakti Marga, which represent Vedic religion. At the time of this Bhakti Marga period, many gods were believed, sacrifices, many prayers were uttered to keep the God satisfied. The second period is the Karma Marga. It is the period of Brahmanic period. Many type of sacrifices were existed during the period. The last period is the period of Jnana Marga, which represent Upanishadic literature. It is during the Upanishadic period, pay attention to realize what is the ultimate reality of being and the world. Upanishadic philosophers identified two realities. One is the reality of individual, which is called Atman, and the reality of Brahman. The later development of Atman and Brahma was identified together, and they considered it as the one reality. It is called Tat Tvam Asi, and that is the peak of development of reality according to Vedantic tradition. According to Upanishadic teaching, Hindu philosophy, the external world or the visible world is Maya. So out of Maya or illusion, we have to recognize the reality. And according to the visible world is not reality, the reality is what is behind. So they wanted to identify the reality out of the visible world. The reality that they found is the Atman and Brahman. And according to Buddhist perspective, reality is the visible reality. What we can perceive through our senses itself is the reality. There is no reality behind. That is the difference between Hinduism and Buddhism. Buddhism confesses there is no other reality behind this empirical world. Empirical world itself is the reality. That is the distinctive feature of Buddhism. So this reality has been expounded by the Buddha in his first discourse, Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. Dhamma has been used in different contexts, in different meaning. Here in Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, Dhamma is identified as the reality. It is synonymous as reality. Dhamma is synonymous for reality. And what is Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta expounded is the Four Noble Truth. That is the suffering, the cause of suffering, and cessation of suffering, and way to cessation of suffering. So this is the reality, very simple. There is something empirical, and it is very understandable. So we need not to think about, there is nothing behind. So what Buddha expounded is the Four Noble Truth is the reality. There is no other reality. Buddha himself says, if anybody expound the other reality than Four Noble Truth, that is wrong. That is impossible. So reality can be identified within this Four Noble Truth. Also, in expounding the Four Noble Truth, there is one very deep, there is one term in Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. Buddha says, Appativatyang devenava marenava brahmunava appativatyang. The truth that I have been expounded cannot be changed by God or any other supernatural being. It is the reality.
Sir, please conclude your...
I'm so sorry because you have not given me time. I have
I'm
just
sorry.
started.
Anyway, we have to conclude.
Okay. Then in expounding the reality, him is the Ananda.